Teens need jobs, not just cash. Guided close read. In 2008, the United States entered into what many called the Great Recession, generally considered to be America's worst economic crisis since the Great Depression of the late 1920s and 1930s. A recession is a slowdown of economic activity. During a recession, people and businesses tend to spend less money, which contributes to a cycle of job losses and decreases in profits. The effect of the Great Recession were felt for years. At the time these arguments were written, the unemployment rate was high for adult workers and even higher for young workers. During an economic recession, jobs are difficult to find, and the problem is even more extreme for teenagers than it is for adults. There is a cyclical nature to unemployment. People who do not have jobs buy fewer products. That means manufacturers make fewer products and lay off employees, leaving even more people unemployed. This author begins her argument with an anecdote, or a brief account of an interesting incident or event that is usually intended to entertain or make a point. Reread lines 1 through 12. How might the anecdote be relevant or related to the author's argument? Pause while you think. The anecdote describes a mistake the author made in her first job. It's relevant to the point she makes in lines 10 through 12. Making mistakes like that is partly what early jobs are all about. We learn and then make better decisions. Authors of persuasive texts anticipate ways in which others might disagree with their arguments and include counter-arguments to challenge opposing views. Reread lines 20 through 27. Identify the opposing view. How does the last sentence in the paragraph support the author's counter-argument? Pause while you think. The author presents the opposing view that some parents debate the merits of teens taking jobs bagging groceries rather than focusing on enrichment activities. The final sentence provides statistics to prove the counter-argument that many teens need to work to help support their families. The author is building toward the conclusion of her argument. Pay attention to the way in which the paragraph in lines 60 through 65 develops a key point. Reread lines 60 through 65. Which sentence in the paragraph best supports the author's key point? Pause while you think. The two previous paragraphs provided examples of effective job programs in other countries. In lines 60 through 65, the author cites a New York program, bringing her argument closer to home. The second and third sentences in the paragraph give facts that show that the program could be successful. Teens at work, guided close read. Whereas the writer of the first argument started with an anecdote, this writer begins with a more specific statement of his or her claim, or position on the problem. Reread lines 1 through 10. Identify the author's claim. Pause while you think. To combat high national unemployment for teens, legislators must craft more initiatives which help induce creation of summer and part-time work opportunities. How does the position of the sentence stating the claim help to develop the argument? Pause while you think. The fact that it is the first sentence in the editorial gives the claim added prominence. Information that is relevant has a sensible connection to the idea being discussed. Reread lines 26 through 34. Determine whether all of the support the author provides is relevant to the claim. Pause while you think. The final sentence is not clearly connected to the claim about more jobs for teens.